If you drop the baton, they're just gonna kill you.
Hello, it's Chris here with another My Defining Moments podcast. And we're back to another track and field athlete for this episode. At the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, long jumper Darya Klishina was the only Russian athlete cleared to compete in athletics. The year beforehand, following the outcome of the McLaren report into state-sponsored doping within the Russian Olympic team, a blanket ban was imposed on Russian athletes by the IAAF. However, as Darya had lived and trained in the USA since 2013, she had been tested regularly outside of the Russian anti-doping system. Therefore, she was allowed to compete as the sole Russian athlete in the track and field program, and despite a last-minute change, she did eventually take to the long jump runway in Rio. Now aged 30, Darya still lives and trains in the USA, where she is preparing for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. In this podcast, she reflects on her early life in Russia, her successful junior career, and what the future holds for her long jumping. So, let's hear the 5 defining moments in the career of Darya Klishina. Hi Darya, how's things going?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. A little bit rainy day today, but it is what it is. So we were training together today and it was fine.
So where are you at the moment? Where are you based currently?
So I'm in Atlanta right now. I've been in Miami for a while because in Atlanta it was very cold during the winter time. And we had a chance to train outside in Miami. But now we're back and I'm going to stay here for a few months.
Okay, nice. So who's your coach at the moment and what's your training group like?
So I'm trained with Dwight Phillips. He's an Olympic champion in the long jump as well.
Yeah.
We met with him actually. We met with him when he was an athlete, but as a coach. I was working with him from 2000, end of 2015, I think, or beginning of 2016. So he was an assistant of my other coach. And from 2018, so I started working just with Dwight, and now we continue working.
Sounds good.
We have very international group, actually.
Have you got Lorraine Ugan, the British jumper, is she with you?
Yes, she's with us.
So yeah, very, very high quality group.
It's good, because you have to have a good partner, teammates, just to work with, and it's really good. You can push yourself more and you can push them, and it's kind of beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think success often breeds success, and it sounds like you've got when you've got Dwight Phillips coaching you, that's a pretty good starting point, isn't it? He's got loads of world titles.
Yes, he's very inspiring, and he has very good energy. This is what I really love about him, because you have to feel it, this positive pushing energy during the session, during your workout, because usually we have some bad days, just we can be not in the mood, or body can be a little bit down, or you can feel sore or something. And yes, you must have someone who can still push you in a good way, not too much, but just with a good and positive energy. This is very important.
Okay. When I was searching, I thought I'd look to see if you'd done any other podcasts before, so I put your name into Spotify.
Okay.
And I found a song, which I think was released at the start of the year. Can you just explain what that's about?
It was my first experience of singing. I've never done this before, but we got this opportunity. And I just used this opportunity. Why not? The life is not so long, but the life is interesting, and I don't want to be just fully in sport. So I'm a woman, first of all, and then I'm a professional athlete, and I'm also trying to discover other things, and this was one of them. I was nervous as crazy when we were recording actually this song. I never nervous like this on the competition. It's a different stress, because I'm kind of perfectionist, and if I know that I do something not perfectly, I start nervous, and yes, I'm very critical to myself always, but it's just a very easygoing song, just a summer vibe, very nice music, it's not too many words, so this was like a little bit easier for me, especially for my first experience. I was surprised that I did it and that I agreed. But I have like a good mood if I listen to the song, and why not? It was a good experience for me.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, it's called Dubai, and it's by WDP365. How did they approach you? Did you approach them? How did it all start?
They connected to through my agent, and they offer if I want to try to sing this song, and we just agreed. But I was thinking for a long time because I knew that I've never done this before, and I don't know how it's gonna be, and I was not only one who was nervous about it, because it was like a full project, and we're recording in a studio, and it's also first time, and everything like new for me, and for other people as well, because there is their song, is their music, and they want to make sure it's gonna sound good and all of this stuff. Yeah, so but I think we did a good job.
No, it sounds good. I guess for you, that must have been a little bit of a change from, obviously, like you say, long jumping and being a sports person. So just going back to kind of the start of your story, how did you first get into sport? Obviously, growing up in Russia, when did you first fall in love with sport?
I started with volleyball, actually, and I was really in love. I still loved it. I still love it. And I played for 3-4 years, and then we have in my hometown, like once in a year, we have some big relay on the streets. And I was running like the last or one before the last leg, but the shortest one, because I'm not used to do the long distances. And just one day, the track coach came on this day, and he just saw me, and he just offered me to come and try track. So when I came, I was trying to do both track and volleyball, but of course it's just impossible because there is no time to do two sports. And just my parents asked me if I want to do individual sport or team sport. So, and I said, okay, I'll probably go to individual because I had some little stuff that I didn't like it about the team sport. So that's why I choose individual. And I think it was a good choice.
Yeah, well, it's gone well so far. I guess in terms of the actual long jump, did you try other events in athletics first, or was the long jump the one you kind of naturally gravitated towards?
I tried actually almost everything. I mean, except like very long distance. I tried it with my first coach, and I think it was the best kind of platform for the young girl. And then like I think in a year and a half, from his just professional view, he saw that jumping goes much better than other events, but I was still doing it long jump, sometimes triple jump, never liked it. And I did also some short sprint, and sometimes I was running relay 4x1 for my team as well, but it's also so stressful for me because it's a big responsibility. If you drop the baton, they're just gonna kill you, so that's better if I just kill myself if I jump bad, so but not anybody else.
But I guess obviously growing up in Russia, a country that's famous for athletics in particular and lots of other sports, what was it like growing up in Russia in the 90s, and how did you feel like athletics was ingrained in the society and the culture of such a great country?
In my hometown, we don't have almost any facilities for the track, so that's why I moved when I was 13. I moved to Moscow, and I finished the high school and the university already in Moscow, and I changed my coach then. Because if I wanted to participate in a higher level than I was when I was like 13 years old, so I just had to move to the different city and just train in the indoor facilities, outdoor facilities, because when I used to be in my hometown, I was training on a basketball court, and we had like a little, I can't say gym, I can't say weight room. It's just a few bars like very old one, banded. A few hurdles. Of course, they were not like in one piece. And we used to train like in the forest. So I was running in the forest and I was doing some boundings and stuff, like mostly outside, also during the winter time. Yeah, but it was fun. I was a child and it was just beginning of my career, and it was kind of normal for me because I didn't know any other stuff, any other like good facilities that there exist. Because I'm from just a regular family, we were never rich, and I didn't have any sport clothes. Like it was regular shoes, not like sneakers like I have right now. Yeah, some tights, not the sport brand, of course, just a regular like a short or t-shirt or something from my cousins, because we didn't have money to buy like new stuff. Yeah, but it was normal. I was so busy. Because of course I wasn't at school that time, and right after school I remember that I had like usually like hour and a half to do my homework, like to eat short lunch, and then I had to run to my practice, and I had to take the public transportation, and it was like 45 minutes away from my house. Yeah, and I was back around like 9 p.m. like plus minus, and it was my day. So but it was okay. I loved it, you know.
Yeah, and then moving to Moscow at 13 must have been quite a shock for you, I guess, going to a big city like that.
Of course I was nervous a little bit at the beginning before it happened, but since I moved I just felt so comfortable, because I was not afraid about the big city. And my schedule was crazy busy. Yeah, and I understand that also it's a great responsibility for me, and I had to be good at school, and I have to be good in sports. So, and I was so focused because I didn't have any other choices. Yeah, otherwise they're gonna kick out me from the school or from something else. Yeah, and I was trying to be good, like on both fields. Yeah, and it was okay. It was great time. So I made some friends. You know, I finished school. Then I get in a university. I get in another like a new friends. Yeah, it was kind of nice routine, and like I remember I was happy. Of course, sometimes it was so hard, but kind of I'm this type of person that my brain usually don't remember anything bad. I don't memorize bad things. I'm trying to concentrate only on like a positive energy and positive things, and this is very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And then I guess your long jumping was going on, improving a lot, and you were ending up making the national team for junior level, and that kind of brings us on to your first defining moment, which was the World Youth Championships in Ostrava in 2007, where you came with a gold at 16 years old. So that must have been a pretty memorable moment in your life.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of first big international competition. It was a very important moment for me because I was young, I didn't have any experience, and I won this competition just on my 6th attempt. So this is probably the most precious thing that I found for myself, because I remember, of course, I was nervous. Of course, I was like fighting with my coach because I was young and I didn't know how to communicate like during the competition, and she probably didn't know as well because she didn't have like so much experience as well with such a big level competitions. And yeah, somehow I jumped my best result on the 6th attempt, and yeah, it was so cool, and that's why I still remember. And I'm not trying to remember exactly how I felt to bring this to any other competitions, but I think it's a great experience that I can remember, and if something happened, I can tell myself that I did it before, even when I was young. So it means I can do it right now for sure.
Yeah, exactly. If you can do it as a 16-year-old in your first competition, then it bodes well for the rest of your career.
Yeah, it's easy to say, but yeah, all competitions is different. but I'm trying. Yes.
And then, yeah, your junior career kind of went from strength to strength. You won European Youth, European Juniors. You were, European Under-23 champion. And I was looking through those records, and I think every time you beat Ivana Spanovic into second. And I guess obviously she's still competing. You're both still competing at the same level now. It must be great to talk about those old days and reminisce about those junior times together.
100%, because she's, I think, only one person who is really competing with me from like 15, 16 years old, and we're still kind of together competing in the same field, and it's so cool. I love it so much, and I can't imagine how mad she was in the first youth world championships there in 2007, because she got second, and probably maybe she didn't remember this as much as she remembered the European Championships, because one, it's U23, and it was in Novi Sad in Serbia, and it was in her hometown, and yes, she got a silver medal as well, and I just remember those competitions. I didn't compete for like almost year and a half before this event. It was in 2009, because I had some problems with my lower back. And this was, again, my first big international official competitions after 2007. And I was crazy nervous, I remember this. And I remember she jumped on her first attempt. The result was over my PB. And of course I was like, oh my gosh, what should I do just to win? I have to jump PB as well. Yeah, but somehow I did it, and I jumped 680 there, and I won. But it was so much pressure because I remember when she was on the runway, the whole stadium just stand up and clap. It's crazy. I never saw this before. I understand. No, I mean, she's an idol for them. It's so cool. It's a big support for her, but I just never saw this before, and for me it was kind of shock.
So yeah, you'd obviously say you've won a lot of the junior titles, and then 2011 you went to your first European indoor championships at senior level. In Paris, and came away with the gold at your first senior championship. So that must have been a big moment for you.
I don't remember so much this competition. I remember I won just 1 centimeter from the second place, and it was Naida Gomes. So, and we were very tight, and it was not like super high result. I won with 680, and she jumped 679. Yeah, but I knew I was kind of ready for this result, and it was kind of smooth. I didn't struggle, I don't remember that I was like under stress or something like this. So this competition was kind of just a piece of the puzzle for some bigger competitions. Yeah,
then later that year at the European Under-23s, you jumped 705, which is still your PB today, and that was back in Ostrava, where you'd won your first medal in 2007. So what is it about that stadium, and what do you remember from that day when you jumped 705?
Oh, I loved the stadium before, so it still was in Ostrava, same track, same long jump pit, and kind of familiar for me, with the good memories, and but this was easy competition, because I jumped on first attempt, and I just understood that I'm done, and nobody on that day can jump further than me, and that's it. I was kind of calm, and I was ready to go home after my first attempt. So yeah, of course it was cool. I was just ready, and I was perfect on the board. Everything was really, really good, like set up with the wind. I remember it was just slight wind, and it was PB. Of course, I was happy, and plus I really understood that nobody gonna jump further, so that's why I kind of relaxed after the first attempt.
And then obviously that was the year before 2012, which is obviously Olympic year. But then at the Russian champs, despite jumping 681, you only finished fourth and missed the team. How hard was that for you?
Oh, it was so hard. It was so difficult because that year I kind of fight with my coach that I don't want to do Russian national as a first competition of the season. because I knew it's going to be a fight. It's going to be difficult competitions because we always had in Russia like so many good long jumpers. And yeah, I was just asking to give me a chance to jump somewhere, like whatever, like in a village or something like that, but just to feel this competition mood, you know. So, and on that time they said, no, I'm gonna do Russian national as the first one. And I just couldn't handle it. I was in a great shape, but I couldn't put everything like in one piece, in one jump. I was running so fast and I couldn't do takeoff because I just not used to it on the season, you know. Body doesn't know, and you kind of you didn't prepare for this. Yeah, and the first competition, this is exactly, you're supposed to use it for kind of very good first technical session, you know, but not the Olympic trials. Yeah, and I couldn't handle it, and yes, I was fourth, and I was a few centimeters from the third place. Of course, I was like down completely. And I remember like after this Russian national, I've been jumping like in 3 or 4 days on other competition, but I didn't care about result because I knew I'm not going to Olympics. I was so upset about like everything, and yeah, I was just not in the mood to jump. But even with that, I remember I had like 6 attempts all over 690, and I think I jumped 96 or 95. Yeah, so this was just a mistake.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's the brutality of the national championships that on the day you've got to be in the top 3. And then you bounce back at the start of the year of 2013, defending your European indoor title, another jump over 7 meters. That must have set you up well for the outdoor season that year.
Yeah, it was also kind of easy for me because I think I was jumped again on my first attempt, 701. It was strong girls jumping that day, but I still knew kind of will be difficult for them to jump over just on that day. You kind of know usually who is ready for which result. No, plus minus, of course, not like exactly. That's impossible. Yeah, you can always get a black horse, you know, in your competition, but you usually know about it if you have to keep it in mind. But yeah, sometimes you know for sure. And on European indoor championships, it's less people, so it's only not 12 in the final, so it's only 8 people in the final, and usually you know them very well because you jump in like almost every competition with the same girls.
So you say that it's easy when you do it in the first round. Obviously you prefer to do it in the first round and get it out of the way, get the big jump out of the way, but what is it like when you have to come back in the last round? You know, how does it compare when you're doing those 6 attempts?
Honestly, of course, it's so good to jump far on the first attempt. And yeah, but it didn't happen all the time. So it's just a few times when I jumped like very well on the first attempt. Now I set my mind like I have to at least hit the board for the first attempt. I will push hard, but I don't want to fall. This is kind of not so right what I was supposed to think. You just have to go and whatever. But no, if it's a final, it's fine. But for me, it's kind of a break point in my head, especially for the qualification round. I have to make sure that my first attempt with a white flag.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be under stress like completely. And I don't want to put me in this situation.
Yeah, is the third attempt of a qualifying competition the most terrifying jump you can do?
Yes, I've never done this before, and I always did on the first one or my second jump. Yeah, and I think this is the best. It's the best, of course, if you qualify from the first. Yeah, but it's okay if you use the second attempt. I've done 3 attempts, but just because I didn't jump well on the first 2, but other girls didn't jump well as well. It was some few competitions when we all were struggling because the track is just not perfect, you know, or sometimes we have plastic board instead of the wood board, and it just takes everything and doesn't give you anything to jump far. Yeah, sometimes it happened. I remember one qualification round I think it was in 2010 World Championships indoor in Doha. We were jumping 3.5 hours, and it was like morning session. I think we started at 9 a.m. I woke up at 5, like in shock, like what's going on and why I have to wake up so early. And it was just not the best organization with everything, with photographers, like with a measuring system, with a timing system, and per each run, for example, who is running 400, 800, they close our runway, and it was happening like after each girl. So that's why we were jumping 3.5 hours. Nobody jumped the qualification mark, but we were struggling. 3 attempts like everybody. Yeah.
So can you often tell, like, when you get to a competition, how good the track is going to be? And can you see when you're doing your practice jumps how good your day is going to be? Does it work like that?
Yeah, it is, because we have some different surfaces. Of course, Mondo is the fastest one. Yes, you have to keep it in mind, especially with your approach run, because we still have to be perfect on the board. It means you have to make some adjustments for the approach run. Some tracks, especially if it's like brand new, and it's not Mondo sometimes, and if it's a little bit soft, we already know we're gonna struggle with the high results. So, and usually all girls pretty much on the same high mid level, but there is not gonna be like jumps over 7 meters for everybody. You can tell this during the warm-up, because usually we have a chance to come to the track at least the day before the qualification round or the final, just to touch, just to see like what's going on, what kind of track is this, just to prepare yourself a little bit physically and mentally for the next day. Yes, you can tell it right away. But usually for big official competitions outdoor, now they prefer Mondo, and I think this is like one of the best choice, because this is good for sprinters, for jumpers. You will never go wrong with Mondo.
And then you talk about great stadiums and things like that, but when 2013 World Championships was in Moscow, in Russia, obviously that must have been a great moment for you, competing in front of a home crowd and at the World Champs. How was that a competition from your point of view?
The 10 days before this World Championships, I participate in the Universiade, so this is for students, and I won this competition with 695 result, and it was pretty high for me. I was happy, and I felt like I'm still a little bit like heavy, not on my body weight, just how the body feels. And I knew like in 10 days I'm going to be perfect, and I'm going to fly. Yes, but again, I came back from that competitions. I had 10 days before World Championships, and we started doing it with my coach, like crazy workout, because she was afraid that I'm going to lose my shape. It was also mistake of unexperienced coach, and it was better if I'm just lie on my bed and do nothing for 10 days. I still will participate well just for 2 days. Maybe I will not have any power later on the season, but for 2 days I would. But I pulled my hamstring before the World Championships, like in two spots. And it was on my takeoff leg, and it was so difficult for me to just show the very good result. And I don't know how I jumped 677. I don't know. It was still high for what I feel on my leg. So of course it's just difficult, because I couldn't do the real aggressive takeoff because my hamstring just was hurt. And when you're injured, it's just so difficult to participate on a high level. You have to be healthy 100%. Maybe you can be not in the best like physical shape, but if you're healthy, you can still jump far.
Yeah, you mentioned that you've had a few, not disagreements with your old coach, but you were constantly not sure if you were on the same page. At what stage did you decide to leave Russia and move to America? Because this is your second defining moment, was that decision to move to the US and find a new coach and start a new life. When did that come about?
Yeah, this happened right after this final, after 2013 in Moscow. So yes, I made a decision that I have to change something in my life. I got this offer to go and tried to work with another coach a year ago. I mean, the year before 2013, but I was not ready for this, just to move to another country, and I couldn't imagine, and I said no. Yes, but in 2013, I was like, I'm going. That's it, I'm going. Yes, and I came to USA same year in 2013 in October, just for 2 months, just to try, just to see the facilities, to meet the coach. Yeah, and I remember those 2 months just flew like one day. I was so surprised because usually when we were at the training camps with my Russian team somewhere outside of Russia, it was so difficult for me. I don't know why. I just didn't feel comfortable. I always wanted back, not home, just be in my country. And I can understand actually still why. The group I came, they were so welcoming, and they were so nice with me. I didn't speak English at all, so I could say like hi and bye, like how are you, maybe like what time is it now, something like that. That's it. So it was also a little bit complicated, but they just didn't care about it, and I was shocked. Because I thought they don't want to communicate because I don't speak English or something. But no, they were trying to help me on every way. Like I've been doing the warm up with someone together, some workout with someone. They could show me the exercises. Of course, I knew pretty much all the exercises, but I didn't know how can I call this exercise. You know, or if you say the name. I would not understand what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, and it was just so easy. They made it for me very easy, these 2 months. That's why I loved it, and I decided to move in 2014 just completely to USA and train with another coach.
And then you said obviously that's a bit of a shock, I guess, having to learn English and being in a different country. Did it take you a while to adapt to the life in America?
The life was okay, actually. It was not any like big surprises or something like that.
I mean, it's Florida, isn't it? So I guess it's nice and sunny and it's lovely weather.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it was one of the thing that helps a lot. It has an effect on me, on my mood, like on everything. It makes a huge difference when you really have sunny days, like 365. Yeah, it's a huge help. Even if you have a bad day, you're still gonna have a little bit better mood because outside is sunny. This is true, and we had a beautiful ocean, a beautiful beach, very close. 20 minutes drive from the facilities where we were training, and I used to go, especially my first year, like 2-3 times a week, just to be there, just to chill and listen music or read some book or just to swim, just to relax, because I feel very comfortable being with myself. I don't feel like lonely. I don't need a crowd. I don't need so many friends. I feel comfortable, so that's why it was not so kind of disappointing or stressful being in a new country, except language. This was I was worried about. Because I didn't want to say anything wrong. I know, of course, I'm doing so many mistakes right now, but right now at least I understand that people want me to speak, and they will understand. And I'm still like, even if I talking to my coach or to my friends, I'm always telling them, okay, please just tell me if I'm saying something wrong, like all the time. If I have same mistake, I'm not going to be mad at you, nothing. Just say it. I will appreciate it, and it's okay. And I started taking the classes from my first day when I came to USA, and those classes was like from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. like before my morning session. Oh, it was such a big deal. Oh my goodness, because I love sleep. I'd like to sleep longer. Yeah, but I knew I have to do it, yes, because I want to understand my coach, first of all. And then I just want to communicate with the people. I want to communicate with the people in the grocery store. I don't know if I have to go to the bank and all of this stuff, just the social life, you know.
So this was at the IMG Academy in Bradenton, wasn't it? Who was in the coaching group around that time, and what else did you learn in terms of your long jumping?
I used to train with Lawrence Seagrave. I still consulting with him, so we're in a really good relationships. And it was also very international group. And that time we had some girls from Italy. We had one guy actually from UK. He was running 400 hurdles, the Jack Green. And some other people from Jamaica, from some other islands. It was just me from Russia on that year. We had one guy from Spain. Yeah, it was very international. So it was very cool. So and I felt like home.
And then did you feel like it helped your performances in competitions after that, or did it take you a while for the change to kind of have an impact in your results?
Of course, I was expecting for some time to adjust to the new program because it's just so difficult for the body, and the program was completely different compared with Russian, and I was expecting like year and a half or 2 years even without like a good results, and I was mentally ready for this because I knew what I'm doing. And I remember how difficult it was, especially on my first season. I just felt like so heavy. I couldn't move. I couldn't jump. Just my body was like, wow, what are you doing to me? Why? What happening? Yeah, but then it was just getting better and better. My body just got used to do the new workout, and we were working a lot on my running technique, especially. We didn't change anything in my jump. Because I remember my first session with Lawrence Seagrave at the IMG Academy. He looked at my approach and he was like, like, what is this? Yeah, and on that day he told me that he's not gonna change anything in my jumping technique, but with my approach, yes, we definitely have a lot of work to do. Yeah, because we did a lot of technical stuff with my coach in Russia, and this is where I got like a good jumping technique, and of course no need to change anything if you're already doing it almost perfect. So but the run, the speed, yes, you can improve this definitely. This is what we were working on with the coach at the IMG, and still working, but now it's of course it's so much better. The body doing everything like automatically. I don't have to pay attention so much on the movement of the movements, especially on my runway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've been long jumping for well over 15 years now, so you kind of must know yourself what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
Yes, definitely. Even after like, if I do some jumping session, technical session, I know for sure what I did wrong. Yeah, this it's so easy to understand, and I'm the type of person, I just have to hear from my coach what he wants me to do. That's it, and my body will do it. So I usually talk to the coach and I explain how he or she needs to communicate with me. Just to get the best result, because everybody is different, you know, it's so individual, and yeah, some people like to see what they have to do, some people like to hear, some people like both, and some other different ways. Yeah, I just need to hear it, and this is the best way, and I can actually fix it pretty quick right now.
Yeah, especially when you're in competition and things like that. How important is it having your coach in the crowd, I guess, in terms of maybe hitting the board correctly and things like that? Is it really important to have that intel right there in the stands?
Unfortunately, yes. Only because of the board, probably. This is the most important part, because you can't see it. Of course, you can hear it. If it's a red flag, okay, this is the red flag. But the referee, they can't help you during the competition. They can maybe help you during the warm-up, but they're not allowed to help you during the competition. And not all the time you can see the video on a screen of your jump, you know, right after. The coach is very necessary during the competition, because it is very helpful. I had so many competition just on my own, and I knew if I had a coach, I could just had a better result because I was just like jumping, I don't know, 3 attempts like from the track, and then like 2 attempts fall, and I don't know how much I have to move back or move forward. Yeah, this is like you have to think, you have to guess, and this is not right during the competition. Yes, it's always good to have a coach. Maybe for runners it's not so important because after the shot you just run, so you just can't change anything, and the coach not gonna help you, especially on a big stadium, because it's loud, it's so many people, and you're not gonna hear it. But for us, yes, we're able to communicate between jumps, and this is very important.
Yeah, and you said obviously you were adjusting, changing things, and then you got a few decent results. You got European bronze in 2014, and then 10th place at the World Championships in 2015. And then obviously November 2015, the news broke that Russia were banned from athletics. The IAAF said no more after the McLaren report, and that must have been a huge change for you. And where were you when you found that news, and how did you cope with it?
I've been probably in USA. On that time, we just didn't understand how big is this problem. We thought that our federation gonna fix it, and we will be able to compete. So we were kind of not relaxed, but not like under depression or something like that, because we were sure that everything gonna be all right. Just in like few months or something like that, they're gonna solve the problem. And then it was like months by months, and another month, and then like half a year, and nothing is happening. And then 2016 came.
Yeah, Olympic. It's Olympic year, and you don't know if you're going to be there or not. And well, this is your third defining moment, which is Rio 2016, and obviously for you in particular, it was a slightly different story to a lot of your teammates, I guess, in the fact that you were able to compete in Rio as a neutral athlete, but you were the only Russian track and field athlete to compete. So talk a little bit about your emotions of how you managed to even get to that status, and how you were the only one that was able to initially be announced on as a neutral athlete in Rio.
No, at the beginning I was lucky, definitely, that I could stay away from this situation and not to be involved so much. And I didn't hear like any conversations, lots of news. I'm sure that people were talking a lot about it in my country, and I was just in USA, so it was so much easier because my group, they were asking some questions, but just once in a while. They were just worried if I go to Olympics, if I able to, and that's it. This was the main question they were asking me, nothing else. And they were really helping me, and they were giving me big support on that time. And I was preparing nice and smooth like for Olympic Games. So I was getting like in a better and better shape, close to the games. And then less than a week before, I got a letter that I can't compete as well, like everybody. Of course, I was just speechless. Nothing. I was shocked. I was not ready for this mentally. And on the same day, I got a letter. I talked to my coach. On the same minute, almost. I was at home when I get a letter, but I called him and I came to his house. We talked, and immediately he called the lawyer because he has some lawyer he was working with before. And we got a bunch of documents like in 2 days, and it was weekend, I remember. And I really appreciate the lawyer did this work on a weekend for us, because it was literally, we didn't have a time, to do it like on working days or so. We had to fly to Rio like in a few days. We got all of the documents. It was like this, like a lot. And we just bought a ticket for the lawyer, and we flew to Rio all together. And then they set up a date for the court process. They said it's going to be like 2 hours, 2 days before my qualification round. So, of course, before this, I just couldn't do anything. I remember I was coming to the track, and I didn't see anything in front of me. I was out of focus. I was just nervous so much. Yeah, and I couldn't concentrate on anything. I lose some weight. I was crazy skinny just because under stress. I couldn't eat so much. Yeah, and then I went to this court process, and it was like 4 hours instead of 2 hours. We were waiting for the decision because like during the Olympic Games, they have a rule they're supposed to make a decision like in 24 hours after the court, because there is no time to take it more. And after 24 hours, they ask for another few hours because they had a debates between like a judge and other two. Yeah, and then my coach came to my room like about 4 a.m., like 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Of course, I've been asleep.
We know you don't like early starts, so this must have been a bit of a shock.
Yeah, he knocked on my door and he said, I know you're gonna kill me because you're sleeping, but we won.
Wow.
That's it. So, of course, I like cried. Yeah, but I didn't have any emotions. That's it. Next day I had to jump. I don't know how I qualified. Even I was in a great shape, but if you, like I said before, if you're in a great shape physically and you're not ready mentally, that's done. That's it. Yeah, it's better to be mentally ready, like I don't know, 100%, and if you're physically 80, that's still fine. You can make it. Yeah, and I qualified for the final. Yeah, but I was just didn't care where I am. This Olympic Games, yeah, just zero emotions. I was completely like empty. After Olympic Games, yeah, of course, I was like kind of not under depression, but it was difficult time for me, like a few months. I didn't want to do anything. But then, like after like 2 months, I think I start training and I start just preparing myself for the next season because I knew I'm gonna jump far because I felt I'm in a good shape. So I have to do it because I wanted to take a break after 2016, but. Okay, my ambitions was higher that time. I made a decision that I have to go to World Championships in 2017, yeah.
So, obviously, because you missed the Olympics in 2012, for you to go to Rio and actually become an Olympian, that must have still been important for you.
Yeah, just I was imagining some different Olympic experience, you know. Especially the first Olympics, I wanted to enjoy. Of course, I wanted to show the good result as well, but I wanted to have like a full experience of everything, but I couldn't have it. But still, this situation made me so much stronger, like way stronger than I was mentally, and this is a great gift. If we're talking about positive aspects from Olympic moment, this will be the most positive one.
So just to clarify what happened in the lead up to it. So obviously because Russia were banned, because obviously they couldn't prove they had a good anti-doping system, but because you'd been training in America, you'd been regularly tested, so you were able to prove that you were a clean athlete. So then when you got to Rio, that's when you say things changed, and it was two days before your qualifying competition, then you were told you weren't in. I mean, how were you able to concentrate and even try and think about training and things like that?
I couldn't. I couldn't. Yeah, I remember my coach was like, "Okay, we have to do like a few approaches, like on the training, just to check the approach run," and I was walking on the track, and I remember that I could like twist my ankle just on a straight line because I was out of focus completely, and I did like one or two approaches. And that's it. I didn't feel anything. I couldn't feel what I'm doing. Nothing. So it was difficult. I was concentrating on something else, not definitely on the training, because I couldn't think about my training on that time. I was thinking about just if I able to compete and like why.
Yeah, I guess, and there obviously was a lot of press and media around you at that time because you were the only Russian competing in athletics. Obviously there were Russians competing in other sports. It was just athletics where it was just you. And what was the reaction like back in Russia? Did you get any positive or negative messages on social media and things like that?
Oh, I got like 50-50. It was lots of negative comments, if I can say like this. Lots of support, but when you have so many negative things, you don't pay attention to the support people, but you have to you have to read just the positive things. And then I just stopped reading everything. I didn't open any social media, like any websites, because there was lots of news and reviews and just everything. They were talking about this on a good, bad way, positive way. They called me traitor because people at the beginning, they didn't know actually what's going on because they didn't want to know any details. They just heard that I'm only one, and they were thinking that I'm going to compete under some different flag or something like that, but I've been competing under the Russian flag in 2016. But in a year, the situation get better, and lots of people, they changed their mind when they knew what's going on actually in the little details as well. But after that time, I just stopped reading anything.
Did you hear from any of your track and field Russian teammates? Because obviously there'll be other ones that weren't allowed to go, like Maria Lasitskaya, the high jumper. She obviously wasn't allowed to go. And did you hear from any of those guys, or was there any kind of communication from them?
Nothing bad from track and field athletes. Nothing. I don't have so many friends, but the friends I have, they were really supporting me. So they just said go. I understand how other people can think about it. Like if everybody is not going, you're supposed to stay home too. Why? The sport life is so short, unfortunately, and the body just can't stay healthy for a long time. Of course, some people are lucky maybe with that. I'm not so lucky. I have some problems. I always had it, and you have to deal with that. So it's kind of extra challenge for you as well. If you can just prepare for some competition without any distraction, that's perfect. It's great, but it's never happened. Usually you always have something. It's so difficult to prevent any injuries. But from my team, yes, nothing bad.
Did you feel lonely out there because you were the only one in track and field? Did you feel any kind of pressure or extra kind of extra anticipation that you were going to do something for your country?
Oh, I felt everything. I felt lots of emotions, but they were not in a positive way. They were just sucking my energy from me. And they suck completely, everything I had inside, everything you prepare, because usually the professional athletes, so especially a track, I can't compare with the tennis because they have so many tournaments, it's a different system. But the track, we really preparing the whole year for the one day. And we're really keeping everything inside, keeping it tight, all emotions, the physical body, how you feel, the body shape, literally everything. Your immune system goes completely down when you get in shape because your body just working on your physical and mental preparation for the big day. Yes, and if something taking this one of the part just from you a few days before, it's just impossible to get it back so fast.
And then just in terms of the actual final itself and the competition, you finished in 9th place. Did you actually enjoy any of the competition? Were you able to enjoy any of it? What were the rest of the competitors like? Did they sympathize with you? How was the actual final competition for you?
I mean, all competitors, all girls, they were very good to me. Like I said, I never had anything, even a bad word or even a bad view or some emotions or something on the face from the girls I'm jumping with. No, never. And it's really good because they know who I am. They jumping with me so many years. It was difficult to enjoy. To be honest, I can't say because there was lots of photographers. They were all around me, and I knew why. Unfortunately, it was not the reason they're gonna be around me, not because I jump far, because something is happening, something is going on, some other stuff. And after the qualification round, I spent so much time in a mid zone, an hour or something like that, and it was so many journalists they wanted to talk to me, and my coach, he just got the accreditation for the mid zone. He went through from the other side. He just grabbed my hand and he pulled me out because I didn't have a chance to go through the mid zone. It was difficult. And that day they had so much less news about Usain Bolt than about me, and I don't want it. I don't want it on this way, you know.
So looking back on Rio as a whole, then, did you actually enjoy your first Olympics?
No, like I said, if I'm thinking right now, this experience just made me so much stronger. Yes, I didn't get a medal. I didn't jump far as I wanted to, and actually as I was ready to jump. But you just have to understand, and you have to take it whatever it is. And I'm taking it from the positive side, that I can be so calm, so confident on my competitions on a high level, and just do what I do the best.
And then, well, moving on to your fourth defining moment, which is the next year at the London 2017 World Champs, you did do your best. You came away with a silver medal, just 2 centimetres away from the gold. Did that feel really good then, to kind of be back at the high level of competition and back winning medals?
Of course. And it was not like a sudden medal or like by accidentally. I was preparing for it. And it was not like very good season. It was not the best season. It was not like very smooth during the season. And I didn't have like a big jumps on my previous competitions before London. But I just knew that I have to stay healthy, and I will do my best. And I think this is where I felt the most that I can improve my jump with like each attempt, because I was so ready, I was so calm, confident, like I said, in my head. Mentally, I was just ready for 100%, and I didn't fight with anybody. I was just fighting with myself. That's why it was very good competitions, plus with a good result, which is probably the most important for me.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was in the crowd that night watching the the competition I had a great view of the long jump, and it was a great competition. It was very high quality. I remember there was the moment Spanovic had her bib came off and she thought she'd won or something, and there was a bit of controversy, and it was a great night. But how did you feel when you did get your silver medal, and then you obviously weren't able to celebrate with the Russian flag because you were just wearing your neutral kit? And what did you do? Did you do a lap of honor?
Even before competition, actually, I think it was before the qualification round, I came to the call room with the all girls, and I was in gray, and they were like, huh? What are you wearing? It's still, they even like didn't know. It's still like going on. We're still like NAA athletes, neutral athletes. I was like, yes, like, can imagine. Of course, it's not the full experience again. You know, the little piece is out. Of course, I wanted to run with the flag. Of course, I wanted to hear the national anthem. Of course. Like everybody. And I remember how Tiana Bartoletta and Brittany Rees, they were running with the flag, and I was just like changing my shoes because I didn't have a flag to run, and I couldn't do it. Even if somebody threw me from the crowd, I just couldn't do it because there was rules.
I guess it was tough because obviously, like, there was a gold medal in the high jump from Maria. She had to listen to the IAAF anthem instead of the Russian anthem. I mean,
exactly.
It can't be fun.
And not only Maria, I'm sure. Like we had lots of Russian spectators in the crowd. By the TV, like in the internet, who was looking the competition, they also wanted to hear the Russian anthem, not the IAAF, of course. It's not just for athletes, you know.
Yeah, and like you said, it's still going on now. With 5 years on from Rio, and it's still the same situation. Is it frustrating for you now? Do you wish they'd just sort it out?
We kind of got used to it. We're not under like pressure like it was at the beginning. We just understand, and we're just waiting. At least I know the few people already from Russia, they got the neutral status, I'm not going to be alone. I'm so happy about it because in Rio I felt like I'm in a theater, just one doll dancing on a scene. Hopefully it will be more than one in this Olympic Games, and will be much more in the next one.
And then in terms of just how you feel about Russia, obviously, do you still feel proud? Are you still a proud Russian?
Of course, this is my country, and I will always love my country. Even if I live in USA, it doesn't mean anything because, yes, here is my life. I'm working here. My coach is from America. But when I was moving to America, I didn't move to the country. I was moving to the coach, And if this coach was like from UK, I would go to UK. So I didn't think about the country. I'm still I'm so Russian in my soul. I'm so Russian in my heart. So I have lots of Russian friends, and my family is still in Russia. And of course, I'm always happy to come back home.
And then obviously, I'm sure you'd still love to compete under the Russian flag again in the future. Do you think that will happen anytime soon?
No, not soon, as I know. Not this year. This year is soon for me, but not this year. Yeah, we'll see. And I think we were not allowed, even during the next Winter Olympic Games. I think they announced that Russia going to be under neutral flag again. So I don't know. Maybe in a few years, finally, they will solve this problem. We all hope.
Do you get to have any say in it, or have you spoken to any of your other Russian teammates and said, can we do anything about this? Can we try and sort this out?
Actually, the biggest mistake, they had to do it at the beginning. They couldn't think that it's gonna be solved just because, without doing anything. So this was the biggest mistake, and now that's why it's still a problem. So from 2015, it's a long time, my goodness, that's 6 years already, a country can compete under the flag. I think it's the first time in the whole history like this. And I just understand for myself that if I want to get something, I have to do it by myself. I just can't wait for the help. So that's what happened in Rio. And I still don't know why nobody did the same. And they could do, like you mentioned, Maria Laskeni, she could do it the same. And she could get the neutral status as well. She could compete and just not be in national competitions. But I don't know why. It's maybe, of course, my mentally I also changed when I moved to another country. And I just realized that I can do lots of things just by myself. I don't need the help. And it will be more useful than just to wait for the help.
And then, obviously, after London 2017, you understandably had a bit of a break. I guess you just wanted to have a little bit of time to kind of dissect the last few years and just relax. How was that, and what did you do on your time off?
I was still training a little bit, not so much, but I was moving, of course, because I couldn't just sit and do nothing just for my body. And I also went to the English school, kind of a brainwash, because I had 5 hours non-stop with 2 little breaks, 10 minutes and 15 minutes. And it was crazy useful for me. I didn't have any Russian speaking in my group. It's a rule for the school, so because you can't ask for the help somebody. If next to you is a Japanese guy, that's just no way no way to ask for the help. So and I could learn some new words. Also, I could communicate with the people about music, about the space, about art, some different subjects, not just very narrow that you use in a regular life or in a sport life. And it was so interesting, so beneficial for me. And if I have a chance, I will go again. But there is just you go every day, and you're really spending more than half a day there. But it was so cool. I knew that I want to improve my language, and I still want to do it more and more. And then I just I was take care of my body. I was take care of my chronic problems, because I always had my Achilles problems, even from 2008, and it's still with me. I still live with that. Still trying to talk to my Achilles every day. Yeah, and somehow we're still surviving together. Yeah, it's lots of work, as well.
So did you then feel refreshed after that year, and were you ready to come back and go back to full-time competition? And did you miss long jumping?
No. Really, I did not. I did not miss long jumping. I did not miss my trainings. But I just set my mind like I have to do one more Olympics, and I have to do it good, and I will do my best for it. Because I'm not a cheater. I'm a hard worker. I like to work, so I will never do less than I'm supposed to. And just for me, the limitation thing is just my health, because I have this chronic problem, and the body always trying to protect, body trying to compensate with some other movements, and this is where you can get some new stuff. And my whole day now just going around training and recovery again, and I can't let it go because I'm not like 18 years old right now, when you can come to the track in a sunny day. You can sit like 5-10 minutes doing nothing, and you can feel warm. Okay, I'm warmed up. Okay, I'm ready to go. It's not working like this anymore, unfortunately. But now I think I have enough experience, and I know my body very well, and I can take care of my body. I use lots of different things, and just trying to give the best, because the body is not. It doesn't build for actually any professional sport. That's also, it's every day it's over the limits, and of course the body like when you take care of it.
So you did return in 2019 and did a few competitions, but you missed the World Championships. Was that through injury? Why did you miss Doha?
Yeah, I pulled my quad like a month before Doha. I was already in Europe. We were on a training camp. And I just pulled my the quad, and I just couldn't recover for Doha, and we just didn't take a risk because we didn't want to make it worse again. I don't want to come and just qualify for the final and nothing on the final, nothing good on the final. So yes, if I'm coming to competition, I'd like to fight till the end. So if I don't feel good, it's better to not come.
And then obviously, like everybody, you ended up having a year off in 2020. How did you cope with the pandemic? It must have been quite a crazy year when you're gearing up for your last Olympics.
It was crazy because we were preparing at the beginning of the year. We knew that everything going to be okay. And then, they announced that they're going to postpone the Olympics. So I think we got an announcement in like March, I guess. It was okay. It didn't shock me too much. I was like, okay, not this year, next year. Just we'll get better next year. More stronger, more faster, healthier again, just prepared better. And it was kind of new experience, I think, for the whole world to stay home for a long time and do nothing, almost. We were all trying to do some home workout and some stuff. Usually we don't have time for it. And it's like lots of restrictions about the traveling. This is actually the worst part.
Moving on to your fifth and final defining moment, which is just kind of the present. You could have said right now and looking ahead to Tokyo. You've already competed once this year. You jumped to a wind-assisted 705. That must give you confidence ahead of Tokyo.
Yeah, for sure. And you asked me before, do I miss long jump after 2018? And I said no. And this time, I was missing the competition so much because I was just training. And yes, I just had to give the break for my body, and this break was the competition. Different break, not the relaxed break, but I just had so many emotions in my head I had to get rid of, just for good. for the competition, and that's why. So I didn't compete indoor, and we decided to start outdoor season a little earlier than I usually do. And I knew we're not going to have many competitions this year. I mean, we were planning actually a lot of competition, but it's not going to happen because again something canceled, something under restrictions, and all other problems still with the COVID. But of course it's nice to have a result. It's nice to have again the qualification mark for the Olympic Games. I had it before, but it was in 2019, and you never know what happened. Like it's 2 years almost. It's so much better just to know, just to feel again this competition mood and the full jump from the full approach.
And what would you want, best case scenario, to come out of the Tokyo Olympics?
Oh, for me, I just want to come to Tokyo pain free. This is kind of silly, sounds silly, but this is my dream. I will do great if I come to Tokyo pain free.
And no dramas beforehand.
Oh, yes. I forgot to mention this, but I kind of prepared for this right now, and I'm not going to pay so much attention to anything from the side like it was in 2016. In 2016, it was just sudden, and I was not ready for this. Now I'm ready for everything.
Just looking beyond Tokyo, how long do you think you'll stay in the sport for? Do you think you'll make it? Would you consider Paris? Now it's only 3 years away as opposed to 4 years away.
I don't think so. I never think about Paris. I was thinking about even some years ago, because I also want to live my life. Because now it is my life as well, but it's really limited. Because when you do professional sport, it's not the same if you go to the office every day and do your other job. You can do lots of stuff. You can travel when you want to. Yes, you have to really think about lots of different things. So, and yes, and I think like a year or two, this is max. I don't think about Paris. I'm just thinking just about my life after the professional career.
And what do you think you will do then once you've finished long jumping and you're done with athletics? What will Darya Klishina be doing with her life?
It's a difficult question always. Of course, we have some like projects in mind, but I can't say like very particular because I can't be focused on any projects besides sport right now, because I have to be focused 100% on what I'm doing right now, because it's just a few months till the main event. I was preparing the whole life, and yes, we'll see what kind of opportunities I have after my career. And of course I have some of them already, but I just don't do it anything, because if I want to do something else, so I have to stop doing this. Yeah, just step by step. We'll see.
Looking back over everything we discussed, would you say that the kind of the high moments counterbalance the low moments? You mentioned earlier that you're someone who forgets the bad experiences and you always focus on the positives. Is that still true, even after everything you've been through?
No, yeah, of course. I think any way you choose, whatever sport, or like a journalist, or I don't know, artist or singer, the way is never easy. It's always with something negative and positive aspects. It can't be easy. If it's so easy, it's not so interesting, You have to have some bumps on your road, and this is okay. If you get over one bump, I think you can stand, and you can go and you can do better, and then again, and then again. It just makes your life and just your journey more interesting.
Do you have any regrets or anything that you'd do differently in your career?
I mean, the professional sport for sure makes you very disciplined, makes you very strong mentally. And I think this is very important just for the regular life. When you go on the street and somebody say bad words, so some people will pay attention. I want something like that. And I'm very organized person, and if I have a goal or target in my head, I will go and I will try to do everything just to get it. And I think it's a good thing for any type of job. Because you just really have to push yourself. You just can't be lazy, and you just have. And I just realized that if you want to get anything, you just have to work. That's it. Nothing gonna drop on your head just from the sky.
Very true. And if you were to go back and speak to that 11-year-old who was ditched the volleyball and decided she was going to do athletics, what would you tell that young Darya? What advice would you give her?
I would definitely give an advice. Listen to yourself sometimes more closely and pay attention to yourself, even if coach says something different. Just always have your own opinion, and if you feel it's right, just stay on it.
Yeah, good advice. So just going through I'll just recap the 5 moments that we've been through. Your first moment was your 2007 World Youth Championship gold, your first gold medal. Second one was moving to the US and changing your life and changing your coach. Third moment was Rio 2016 and all the drama that came with. Fourth moment was your silver medal at the London 2017 World Championships, and your fifth moment was the present and looking ahead to Tokyo. If you had to choose one of those 5 moments which kind of defined you, which one would you say it would be?
No, probably the one in the future. The one is coming.
There's always better things to come.
Just think positive.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely fine. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on My Defining Moments podcast. I mean, obviously we've discussed a lot of things, and hopefully this Olympic story will be a nice kind of happy ending for you, and wish you all the best in Tokyo.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really interesting.
Well, there was a lot to take in there from Darya Klishina about her Rio 2016 experience. Luckily, she did get to compete, and she will hope to do so again in Tokyo, competing as an authorised neutral athlete. Thank you so much for listening to the My Defining Moments podcast. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, they're all available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Everywhere you can look on the internet, you should be able to find it. Feel free to spread the word on social media about the podcast. I'm at ChrisBrownSport. And if you have any recommendations of guests you want to listen to on My Defining Moments, please do get in touch. Thanks again for listening, and I'll be back again very soon with more My Defining Moments.